Hi everyone and welcome to Nabe. Nabe stands for the Niagara Area Business Exchange. This is a wonderful business networking organization. We have members here on the set who are going to tell you all about this great group because we think it's something that you really want to know about. They do wonderful things in the community. They're volunteers, they're business owners. These are active, wonderful folks. So we're going to introduce you to this organization because we want you to know about it. It might be perfect for you and your business. So let me introduce the guests that I have here today. Phil Russell, who is an independent financial consultant. Welcome.
Glad to have you much. Good morning.
Kimberly Nichols from Culligan Water. Welcome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And Bruce Fowler from the Family Chocolate Shop. Welcome, Bruce.
Thank you very much.
Bruce, tell us a little bit about when we say a business networking group, what does that mean actually?
Well, it's a group of businesses that really get together to help each other in many different ways. Referrals are the big thing. Doing business with each other, of course, is one of the elements of the networking group. Just being there to consult with different people from different industries, have a different perspective on how to do things, and we can all benefit by listening to those different perspectives, which we do regularly in our meetings.
And I can imagine if you are a new business owner, this could be very valuable information because you can learn from all the other members of the group. But if you're an experienced business owner, you're welcome as well?
It works both ways. Of course, if you're a new business, you want to become known as quickly as you possibly can. This group knows people within the business community and can certainly accelerate that that process.
Oh, that's awesome. Kimberly, what would you say to someone who's considering joining Nabe?
I would say come to one of our meetings and see what we're all about. And it's a great organization. It's a great group of people, and definitely you can benefit from it personally as well as your business.
Wonderful. So people who are thinking about it could attend a meeting or two and just see what it's like?
Yeah.
Awesome. Phil, tell us, when and where are your meetings?
Okay, that's a good question. Normal meetings, our regular meetings, are every Wednesday. And from the second until the fourth Wednesday, they're held at the Dale Association.
Okay, and that's right in Lockport,
Right,
easy to get to.
33
Lots
Ontario.
of parking. Yeah, perfect.
Plenty of parking, easy to get to. And in the morning, things are quiet, so we go right in. We have our separate room to meet in, which is very nice. They provide a room for us. We meet there. We can bring coffee if we'd like. And it's just a very nice environment to meet with the meeting and to discuss what we're doing.
Wonderful.
So it's a great place. Then special meetings like today, the first Wednesday of every month, we come to LCTV. And some weeks we meet at the Keenan, and some weeks we meet on Niagara Street at the regular studio. And so depending on how the traffic is out there, usually very early in the month, the business office is very busy. So we'll meet at the Keenan. Yeah. And it's a nice facility here at the Keenan, and we have a good time meeting here.
Great.
So, and then the same thing with on Niagara Street, LCTV on Niagara Street.
Awesome. Now I know occasionally there's a fifth Wednesday and you do something special. Tell us about that.
The fifth Wednesday, we usually bring in a guest speaker.
Nice.
For instance, we might bring in somebody from, like, say, health insurance to inform us what's going on in the business world in there, and we'll do that. We can bring somebody in my field from financial planning and talk about how a financial plan works. We can bring in somebody from Culligan Water to talk about extensively about what's going on, how the manufacturing goes, things like that.
Great.
Or our favorite is to bring in somebody from chocolate.
That's true. Who could that be?
I know. How it's manufactured, how the company works.
Yeah,
so we bring in different people, and sometimes
we
might bring in an attorney to explain certain things, or an accountant to explain certain things. So we try to bring somebody in from the community that knows something about what we need to know about.
That's
they
great.
Inform us, and it's basically an educational program on that fifth Wednesday.
That sounds great. So there's so many benefits, really, of being a member, because you get to know each other and each other's businesses, what you do, and have that background.
Correct.
And then when you bring in a guest speaker for extra information. So there's so many benefits.
It is. It's like having your own personal board. Now, a small business cannot have a board go out as such. Hire people to come in and explain how the company works and look it over everything. But what we do is we explain how our companies work and what our experiences. So we'll bring in those people that can help out. And then we say, well, why don't you try this? And that helps out that individual in their business, in their practice. So.
And I'm thinking too, when you have a business, you have an expertise in whatever area that is,
Right.
but you might not in, public relations or different things, social media. There's so many different things to know, taxes. I mean, it's so many things. It's complicated. So having, as you said, all these people, kind of like your own board of directors, would be super helpful.
It is because should I become an LLC? Should I be a sole proprietor? Should I be? What should I be?
Yeah.
And you need to consult with an attorney, an accountant, to explain that, and then the paperwork. How do I do the paperwork?
Yeah,
Where does the paperwork
that's
go?
True. Yeah.
How do I file for it? All those things need to be answered. And so we bring somebody in on a quarterly basis. Well, it's not quarterly. The fifth, it might be 4 times a year.
Depending on the year.
But
Yeah,
it
sure.
depends. Sometimes it's 2 months in a row. But it
That's
primarily
wonderful.
is, so it's an educational process.
Now, you also have events such as, you took a canal cruise or ball
Right.
game, like social events too, where you get to know each other. Tell us a little bit about that with your
We-
group, if you remember.
With the group, we'll do that. Now, that will be on a quarterly basis. We'll do that every quarter. And like we said, we invite other people that might be interested in joining. And we went on the canal cruise. We went up and down the canal, and you have they have
in
food
summer.
on the boat. It was very nice. It was a lot of fun. And other times we'll have a mixer that might be at one of the local restaurants, and they'll set up a private room for us, and we'll meet in the back room, and it'll be just a social hour with a little bit of food and some adult beverages and some just regular beverages for people, and it's a mixer so that people
a nice
can get to know who
each
we
other
are.
event. Yeah,
Yes,
that's very cool.
and we get to know each other, and then we have a special holiday. We don't meet around the Christmas time.
It's so
We usually-
busy,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's so busy. So we meet afterwards.
That's a
And
great idea,
And we have a white elephant gift exchange, which is sort of
Always fun.
interesting. Always fun. Give away the thing that you didn't like. Somebody will like it.
Yeah. Well, you know what I like? You've really covered a lot of things. It's not just, come and learn. It's a fun atmosphere. It's a welcoming group of people that you can gain so much information and experience from, which is terrific.
Right.
Yeah,
And
people should think about.
The organizations I like to belong to are fun. They start on time, they end on time, and they're fun to be at, and you can gain something from it. And that's what we try to.
That's awesome. And you have a website as well, nabegroup.com. So
Correct.
you're all listed, all your businesses and information about meetings. So I do encourage everyone, check out nabegroup.com because there's lots of information there. A wonderful website. So you can really find out a lot of what you're doing, and that's terrific. Well, I'd also like to find out about your individual businesses. I'm going to start with you, Bruce. Tell us about the Family Chocolate Shop.
Well, we have a full-line chocolate shop on Main Street in Clarence, and you can come in and pick out your assortment, and as you choose, like picking out donuts almost. And our focus has been on working with businesses and companies, and we try to provide products that facilitate customer appreciation, employee recognition, or special events. And we work with many of the auto dealers to send out thank you gifts.
That sounds great.
We do a lot of weddings and business parties and business conventions with favors, chocolate favors, either a small chocolate bar or custom molded piece, which ties into the theme of the event, or little boxes of chocolate. So that's our focus is with business, but we do a lot of individual, personal business as well.
So if I'm thinking of doing something either for my customers, my employees, I could maybe come in and chat with you about what the possibilities might be, what I'm...
Absolutely. I think the thing that we probably do best is offer creative solutions. And important enough that we get your budget, what you're comfortable with, and then we can put together several options for you to look at. And it pretty much evolves from that we come up with the gift that meets those requirements.
And I think everybody likes getting chocolate. But tell us, how important is that type of recognition to employees and to customers? How do you find?
Well, the feedback we get is it's very important. The customers, I can tell you, we've been working with auto dealers that have used us now for their gift giving. It's going on 12, 13 years.
Awesome.
And one of the things you're faced with is coming up with new ideas because they bought a car and then now they're coming back and buying another car. You don't want to give them the same gift.
Sure.
So we have to come up with different alternatives. In terms of employee recognition, we get some extremely positive feedback. We have a company that sends a box of chocolates to the home of the employee on their birthday.
That's a neat idea.
And the idea being that if it's delivered to work, everybody in the office gets into it.
Yeah.
But if you deliver it to the home,
Oh, that's very
the
cool.
family says, hey, this is a pretty good company you're working for. And the chocolates are coming to us. So those kind of things are nice. Chocolate is a fun thing. It's a fun product. You can do a lot with it. There's virtually nothing you can't mold with chocolate. So whether it's butterflies or computers or
Pretty much everything.
hypodermic needles, toothbrushes. There's almost everything we've done with chocolate.
Yeah, and I like that idea too. It makes people feel valued. Whether you bought the car or whether you are, an employee and it's your birthday. It's like that little extra touch that makes you feel that you're thought of, you're valued, and I think that's really cool. That's something for businesses to think about. So that's really awesome.
It is. I can tell you the number of salespeople who tell me when I go to visit their showrooms, they tell me how many responses they get. And obviously it's positive. You're not spending a lot of money, but you're just doing a little bit extra that they hadn't received before from previous car purchases.
Very nice.
So it makes them feel a little special. So that's nice.
And tell us again where you're located.
We're at 10295 Main Street, right next to Don George's toy store, he calls it, for big boys, on Main Street there in Clarence.
And your website?
FamilyChocolateShop.com.
And people can just stop in and choose. I know I have been there, and it's a beautiful place and lots of great choices. So you can stop in and if you have a hankering for chocolate, just stop right in and get some. It's a great place. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kimberly, tell us about Culligan Water.
So we are the worldwide leader in water treatment, specializing in any type of water treatment for your home or business.
Nice.
So we do water purification for your drinking water or water softening for, prolonging the life of your appliances and your fixtures, as well as giving you softer skin and nice hair. So
Lots of benefits to that.
many
when you're
benefits.
thinking of doing that.
Yes.
And you also have drinking water too?
We do, yes.
I mentioned that because we have that here and we enjoy it.
We do.
Yeah.
So we also do, the 5-gallon purified water bottles. We do delivery, so you don't have to be lugging the 5-gallon water bottles in and out of your
That's
home.
great.
So that's a great service.
Now I liked what you mentioned about you have commercial and home customers. For a home customer, you mentioned that it's good for your skin and your hair. How easy is it to put a system into your home if you're thinking of it? You've never had a water softening system. And tell us about that.
It's very simple. So generally we offer a free home water analysis. So I would come right to your home, test your water and see exactly what you've got going on. Then I would give you my recommendations for the perfect fit for you and for your home. And then we would just go from there. Our installation process is very simple. We do all of our own installations. We don't subcontract out our work. So we have factory trained technicians that would come and professionally install your equipment. It's generally, depending on what you get, it's generally about a 4-hour process for installation. And then you get a lifetime of great water.
Yeah, oh, that's really awesome. And I bet, are people surprised when they have their water tested or you come in that maybe it's not what they thought?
People are very surprised. Yeah, I think people, especially on municipal water, I think they're under the understanding or the misconception maybe that their water is soft because they're on municipal water, but the municipalities are really just there to make sure that your water is safe to drink as far as microbiologically, that there's no bacteria. So when I do the test and I show them, the hardness that's in their water and the chlorine levels that are in their water, I think people are very surprised. So.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that is interesting to find that out. Now, is it generally hard water in Western New York, or it depends on the municipality a little bit, or the
most
area
municipalities are between 8 and 11. 11 grains hard, which is pretty hard.
So you would really see a benefit to trying.
Oh, it's a huge benefit. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
awesome.
So every time I sell a system, I always go back a couple weeks later just to check everything over, make sure it's working properly, and get feedback. And the feedback that I get is
good.
yes.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, it makes what I do a great job.
Now, for commercial customers, what are some of the businesses that especially can benefit from this?
Pretty much any business can benefit from it. So as far as drinking water, obviously we have a lot of hospitals and medical offices and things like that. But as far as softeners go, car washes, a lot of the
true.
car washers.
I think in hotels maybe
Hotels,
too.
absolutely, yeah.
That's true, because it would be, now is it more efficient? I mean, do you say, for example, your washing machine, does it work better with the softer water?
It works better, it prolongs the life of it, and you use less products. So
I never thought of that.
you can
Wow,
save
okay.
70% of your laundry detergents and stuff like that on soft water. So it's a huge benefit as far as prolonging the life of your appliances and fixtures and saving you money in the process.
So that one investment pays off quite a bit down the line.
Oh, yeah.
For a business, well, for homeowners as well. So that sounds great.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that you come out and you can take a look at business or home and just give them an idea of what's available for them?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, how would they get a hold of you? Website, phone number?
So our phone number is 716-542-4500, and our website is culliganwatertreatment.com.
Awesome. Well, it sounds really great. It sounds like a lot of people should give it a thought, and you can really see the benefits.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Phil, tell us about yourself. You're an independent financial consultant. Tell us about that.
Well, that's just what it says.
Okay.
I'm independent, and I do financial consulting. Now, my broker-dealer is Cambridge Investment Research, and they're out of Iowa.
Okay.
And so I always have to mention that.
Oh, certainly.
And they take care of all of our security business. Now, also being an insurance business, we deal with basically any insurance company out there.
All right.
Dealing in these securities, we can deal with anybody. There might be a few places that you can't, that are just captive for themselves and their agents.
Okay.
And so we don't. But most of it is done with financial planning. That's what we work with primarily.
That's important, yeah.
Very important. We work with people's attorneys and their accountants.
Okay.
We're located at 247 East Avenue, which is where the Pope Law Firm is.
Okay.
And also we now have an accounting firm that's in there. And a
Oh,
bookkeeping
nice.
firm.
Okay, great.
They've started in there. And so we work together on things like that. Sometimes you're doing things just as simple as notarizing something for the attorneys. Okay. Sometimes you're explaining to them and working with them on business valuations and things like that. So you have to bring in all parties.
Lots of things.
All things. It's amazing
Right.
because, and a lot of times working with attorneys, like today, we'll be working with an individual, unfortunately, he's a widower, wife died unexpectedly, and we're trying to capture his wife's finances to make sure that they don't get lost.
Okay.
And sometimes companies
You don't
are
even think of
reluctant.
that.
Yeah,
Wow.
sometimes people are reluctant to give that up. And so what we have to do is make sure
Wow.
that they get back to where they belong, to the named beneficiary.
Certainly, yeah.
And so that's very important, because then they become lost founds, which goes into the state the state takes over, then you have to go research it and then get it back from the state, and that's even
Ooh,
more
that's
difficult.
a process, I bet.
So
yeah.
the process of that, and working in domestic, we call it qualified domestic relations orders,
Okay.
which is for divorced people. They're not fun to work with, but attorneys don't want to handle that stuff
Sure.
because it gets very complicated.
I can imagine, yeah.
Extremely complicated on making sure it's sorted out. But you have to work directly with them and the accountants to make sure the numbers
okay.
are correct, make sure all the legal process is done. They take care of that, and the attorneys welcome our help with securing the assets for the person that's supposed to get them, because the process becomes very complicated.
Yeah, and I can see you couldn't really, I mean, realistically do any of this yourself. You know, you need to know all this. And as you said, too, even the attorneys, this is complex
The
stuff.
attorneys
There's
do
a
the
lot
legal
on the
work.
line.
That's
yeah.
that's their job.
Right.
Our job is
Theirs
to try
is not
and
the financial background.
Right.
Yes.
I don't
Wow.
tread on theirs, but they are glad to have somebody that
Yeah,
knows how
definitely.
to secure those assets for them. They like that because now they're saying, okay, we'll turn it over to our assistant here, and then she's doing all the research. She has no which way to go, and then they can take hours and hours on end, where we can do it in a matter of phone calls. And I mean, it takes time and doing the proper paperwork, and then we work with the attorneys
How important.
to make sure. Yeah, and the accountants have to work with it to make sure the numbers are correct.
Okay.
So it's not as simple as people think it is.
But I bet it's really satisfying when you're able to really
Right.
help the client,
Yes.
and they, you know, are able to get the funds that are due to them, or you know, to have
Exactly.
smooth sailing, and you see your work pay off. I
Right.
bet that's very, very
It is.
fulfilling.
Today, just this morning, somebody came up to me and said they didn't realize that their 401k, when they take it out, is going to be taxable. They just think they're going to get all that money. Well, wait a minute. If you take all that money, you can be... And so, again, you have to work with the company that's managing the money, and you have
Okay.
to work with the individual, and and then you have to make sure that everything is done correctly, because sometimes people take it out unwittingly,
Sure, and you don't know, you
and all of
know.
a sudden they get this huge tax bill.
Yeah,
And
which
the
would be
accountant
a
says, "Well, what
shocker.
did you do?" and
Yeah.
and they
that's
said, "Well, I
good to-
took all this money. I thought it was, oh, you didn't take anything with, well, no, well, you owe this money." And it happens all the time. We see it all the time.
Oh, wow.
So it isn't just
You
a
can
matter
help.
of simply saying, "Oh, this money's mine. I'll just go and take it."
Right, yeah,
know,
there's
it-
always
Yeah, the government's
something
got
to
the
know.
hands in there.
Sure, sure. Now, financial planning's for everybody, right? I mean, you don't have to be like the small fry, you know, I don't make very much, so I don't have much planning to do.
As
It's
one
equally
person
good
said-
for
yeah,
everyone,
as
right?
one person said, as soon as you turn 18, you should have a will. You have stuff.
You have stuff.
You might not
Yeah,
have much,
Good point.
but you have stuff.
Yeah.
And then as you grow, and you grow financially, then it becomes more complicated. But you need to start off right away. I'll give you an example. I'll just use my son as an example. He started off right out of college, goes into the Navy, and we're talking constantly about what he should be investing in,
Okay.
and make sure he's doing it correctly. And he likes, when you're young, you like to take risk. I said, you better
that's
have
true.
enough over here and enough over here in this pile, and then this is your gambling money. Because, you know, when they go into the Navy, they like to play, shoot the dice. It's very risky.
So you
And the
got to,
same thing with
even when you're
investments.
young, you got to think,
Yeah,
gotta think ahead.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you do it logically, you still have your play money,
Right.
but you still have the money that you can rely on when you come back. So,
absolutely.
for retirement. That's right.
Now, if you are, say, getting close to retirement age and you haven't done a lot, can you still talk to a planner and
you
find out
should.
what
That's-
should be?
That's those people are the ones that I work with the most
Okay.
right now, simply because of the fact that they've gone through it. They've accumulated stage. They've accumulated everything. Now it's the distribution. What am I going to do with it? What if
that's a lot
something
to
happens
think
to me
about.
prematurely and I'm married? That happens all the time. So you have to plan through the whole thing,
Okay.
the whole scenario, to make sure. And a lot of it is sitting down and writing out your budget.
Okay. In high school, like the senior year, you have kind of like a class in financial things and how to, but things change over time, you know? And of course, what they could tell you in school is going to be much more simple, and life gets very complicated. So you need somebody with the expertise who can guide you
And
through
now that
this.
you mentioned
know?
that, there's a lot of schools taking it on now. Barker started off with it. Now Wilson is taking it on, where they have a business plan.
That's
They start off
wonderful.
as
Yeah,
freshmen,
that's
and they go
great.
through, and I'm teaching one of the courses.
Good for
in that.
you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And it helps the children because, and they have a program that once a year, they go in, they bring in their parents, and they talk about different things. And then we as the instructors will go out, will evaluate what they've done and tell them how they might be able to improve.
awesome.
And I'll tell you what, it's so good. Some of the high school kids I saw, they know more about insurance than some of the people that sell insurance.
That's really exciting, though. So
It is. It's good.
for the next generation. There,
Exactly.
Those kids are really learning. How do we get a hold of you, Phil, if we
You
wanted
could
to
call me
stop here
on my phone,
Okay.
which is 716, of course, 622-4114. And I'm located at 247 East Avenue,
Easy to
which
get
is the
to.
Pueblo.
Perfect.
It's
Yeah.
everybody knows. And we're trying to serve the underserved group, which is northern Niagara County,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
everybody wants to go south towards the big city and that, but
Yeah.
the rural area needs it just as much as the
That's it. Everybody
City.
needs
Everybody
to be
needs planning.
thinking about,
Right.
It seems like an overwhelming job, but I think once you get started and you start looking
once
through what you
do-
have and what your hopes are.
It's picking up a pencil
Yeah.
and a piece of paper and answering the questions,
Yeah.
just like going back to school.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
And that's great that you are able to help people that way.
That's
That's really, really super.
Thank you.
Now, we only have a few minutes left, so I just wanted to remind anybody who's joined us partway through the show, this is the Niagara Area Business Exchange. And Bruce, tell us a little bit about your meetings. If people come in and they're thinking they might like to join, what is the meeting like when they come in?
Well, the meetings start at 8 o'clock, most often at the Dale Center, what Phil explained when we don't meet there. They do start promptly, and then each person has the opportunity as we go around the room to explain what's going on new in their own business, to talk about opportunities they see for other members of the group, and to talk about events in the community that they feel could be of interest
Oh, that's good too.
to the members that the members might not be aware of. So it's a great networking group. It ends promptly at 9, so you can get out and get on with your normal business life.
Wonderful.
It's a very cordial group. It's a very social group, but it is geared at helping each other in their business.
Oh, that's terrific.
And we invite people to attend and see just exactly how we do work. They can come twice without any kind of commitment.
Okay.
And then from there, if they like what they see, we welcome them in. It is an exclusive business group, so there are certain categories that are filled,
Okay.
like chocolate. I don't want to see any more chocolate people in the group. But we have a lot of open categories.
Okay,
and,
wonderful.
We are looking for new members.
Okay. And definitely check out nabegroup.com, their website. You can see all the businesses that are currently members, find out more about them, where they're located, how to get in contact with them. I want to thank all of you today for being on the show. I learned a lot from everyone, and I hope you did too. And I want to mention too, there are members of this group who are running the cameras, who are directing. This is a multi-talented group of people, and you should join. You should think about joining this group. Definitely check out their website, nabegroup.com, and thank you so much for joining us today on Nabe.